What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Hit Stick Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Larson, and with me today we have Brent Foster, we got Tosh, we got Coach Boone himself, we got Regan producing. We're going to kind of break down this first round of how we think the season 21 XCFL draft is going to go. We got the updated draft order after a crazy day of trades. I think we got the updated draft order. We apologize if there's any mistakes, but we're going to go ahead and kick this off. Guys, how we doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Boone, Tosh?
Solid.
Outstanding.
All right, perfect. I'll try to point guard this and try to keep it so we're not all talking at the same time. But if you got something to say, go ahead and chime on in. But let's go ahead and kick this off. We had a big trade between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Minnesota Vikings and the Bengals jumped from number 4 up to number 1. He's made it pretty obvious that he's taking a quarterback here. He traded away his quarterback, Quinn Strickland. So with the first pick in the 2021 draft, the Bengals are going to take Max Ecker, the quarterback out of Stanford. Ecker's 6'6", 235, only 21 years old. He's got that strong arm, decent accuracies. I think he's the best. I think he's the best quarterback in the draft. He's intelligent. He's an Ivy League guy. Went to Stanford. Or Stanford's not Ivy League. Whoops. Or are they? No. It's the Ivy of the West. He's pretty mobile. He ran a 4.87, which is 5th among quarterbacks at a decent size, 6'6", 235. So I think this is going to be the guy that kind of leads the Bengals franchise here for the next decade or so. Any quick comments on the number 1 pick? Anybody disagree? Anybody see Bengals going a different way?
No, I like it. After trading away Quinn Strickland, I think it's necessary to get a QB. And if that's their favorite guy off the board, then pull the trigger.
I mean, he did. He jumped up to number 1, so he obviously had a guy in mind. I think this is going to be his guy. So hopefully hit this one spot on and Bengals get a good one. But let's go ahead and slide on here to number 2. Coach Boone, you got the San Francisco 49ers. Where do you see the Niners going?
Oh, they got to go left tackle. Bradley Tiffin out of Oregon. The young man is quick. He's strong. He's everything you need. To be quite honest, in this league, you need a line. So it all starts up front. They're going to go with the big boy Tiffin.
Bradley Tiffin, the left tackle out of Oregon. Absolutely, and he's a prototypical left tackle. 41 combine reps is just insane. I like this pick for the Niners. They need to be the best player available. They got a lot of holes. Their defense is really solid, so I like this pick for the Niners. Let's keep it rolling here. We'll go to number 3, Brent, with the Los Angeles Rams and Air V. Where do you see Air V going?
Yeah, so I'm going to pick one that a lot of people probably didn't see coming. I'm going to go ahead with Shundress Andrews. And the reason for that is he was one of the top-rated guys early on, but he had a really bad combine. He didn't place in the top 10 in very many categories, just the bench press. So a lot of guys started moving them down their boards. But if you go ahead and look at him, his work ethic and his moves, he's a pass rusher, man. Those moves, they're unrivaled. So you can tell that just because he doesn't have the physical attributes of all the other guys, he will put in the work to pass them over time. And I think he's already ahead of most of them. So I think he'll be a highly valued target for any smart owners. And the Los Angeles Rams and Air V are definitely a smart owner.
Yeah, that A- hit power. He's a power rusher with still decent speed. Can play 3-4 outside linebacker. You might be able to sneak him in there at D end. He's a little undersized, but pretty good pick here for Air V. We know. I mean, he ditched Aaron Donald a couple seasons ago, so he needs a pass rusher. And let's see if Andrews is his guy out of Tennessee. We're moving on to everybody's favorite owner. Tosh, you actually get the honors to select the number 4 pick, who the New York Giants will be taking. Where do you see Chad going here?
Yeah, I'm not going to be as mean as others might be for Chadwick. I have him going Alan Wheaton out of Wisconsin, the wide receiver. He traded away Fuller, who was a burner, but he gets back probably one of the better wide receiver prospects that we're going to see without the blazing speed. He's 4.47, so he's not slow by any means. He's got some size. He's got A short route, A- catching, B+ in traffic. Maybe Chadwick runs those shorter routes, and he's been hitting them a lot more. He can go over top, throw it deep with OBJ, but I think Wheaton will be a big plus to that new Giants offense.
I do really like this pick. Like you said, he's one of the more polished receivers. He comes in with decent route running, the A- catching, and like you said, the catch in traffic. you don't see rookies come in with that often, and he still, presented that 4.47 40-yard dash speed, and only at 21 years old. Let's hope Chad's not dumb enough to mess this one up at number 4. We'll move on here to number 5. It's the Buffalo Bills. J-Mo, who's not used to drafting up here. I believe this is the pick from the Carolina Panthers. J-Mo's offense was, explosive this year. Josh Allen got sacked a lot, so I'm going to go with Jordan Wilcox. Or no, I'm not going with Jordan Wilcox. I'm going with Hanson Clare, the power left guard out of Nebraska, only 21 years old. 41 bench press reps. I think that's what everybody looks at first. He had an awesome combine and then puts up all B grades, run block, impact block. His passing game's awesome, but J-Mo can't get the running game going. So I'm really thinking Hanson Clark is going to be a stud here. 6'5", 340, and only 21 years old. This is your guy this is your power mauler inside to kind of revamp that run game in Buffalo. So Hanson Clark out of Nebraska to the Bills. Boone, we'll go to you, man. Philadelphia Eagles, pick number 6.
Look, if I'm correct, I believe they traded away Carson Wentz. Benji Hilbert is the choice here. He's the man for the job. He's 21 years old, UCLA, strong arm, A- throw power. He gives you a B throw accuracy short and a B- throw accuracy mid. He comes probably as maybe the most ready NFL prospect, and he's also young, which means he's going to be easy to develop. He's got a early first projected talent. I just think that this is the no-brainer. They need a quarterback. This is your guy. He's going to be the easiest to develop. You run with it.
Yeah, 6'7", only 21 years old. This is your strong arm, prototypical pocket passer out of UCLA. I like this pick a lot. I like him more than the other quarterbacks on the board there, Chance Page and Fortin. So I really like this pick. And Boone's the QB guru, so he knows what he's talking about. Aries, you might want to take this pick here, bud. Brent, we will go to number 7, Detroit Lions. Who we going?
I'm going to go with the right end, Roshan Griffith, out of Notre Dame. Complete opposite of what I was going with last time. This was a guy who started off lower down people's draft boards, and then the combine came out, and people started talking about him. He got the 3rd overall 3-cone and 20-yard shuttle, and then clocked 38 reps in the bench press, which was tops among all right ends. On top of that, he's got some pretty good moves, and he hits hard. So they need a pass rusher down there, and I think this will be their guy.
Roshan Griffith out of Notre Dame. I like this pick. 38 bench press reps, B hit power. This guy he can play, he's probably a 4-3 pass rusher. So Roshan Griffith, great pick there to the Detroit Lions, who are looking for pass rushers, that's for sure. Anthony Zettel is pretty much all they got. So
exactly. And here's the other thing. They got to get to you and Tosh, man. They can't be giving you guys time when you got Hanson Lambert and Barry Brooks going deep.
Absolutely. I hope he doesn't take a pass rusher for that reason. But let's go ahead and move on here. Tosh, you got Air V and their second pick in the top 8 picks here. Where do you see the Rams going here?
Oh, we looked at their roster. We said they're going to stay with the defense. We've got him going with left end Patrick Wilkerson out of Maryland. This guy ran a 4.65 40. That's faster than a lot of the corners in this draft. He had the second best shuttle and 3-cone, probably faster than DK Metcalf. His finesse moves B+. So he's going to be one bat, 21 years old. He's going to give you that pass rush right away, and they've got some pieces on that D line. I think they just need one more guy on that outside to get that pass rush, to get after the IREX and VBDs of the division.
I really like this pick. Wilkerson out of Maryland here. He is a speed rusher, 4.65. This guy is moving. You could probably get away with putting him at a 3-4 outside linebacker too if you wanted. But I like this pick a lot, and Air V loves his pass rusher, so this could be big for the Rams to come away with 2 stud pass rushers. I like it. I like where we're going here. Let's move on here to number 9. This is me, right? Yeah, with the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs, we know the story with the Chiefs. It's the same, they got their Kareem Hunt, Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill on offense. I think we need to shore up the defensive side of the ball here. It is a terrible draft for cornerbacks. So I think the first one off the board is going to be Frank Robinson, the 6'2", 192-pound guy from Florida State. He ran the 3rd fastest 40 at a 4.42 and decent 3-cone and shuttle. So I think he's going to be your best bet to stick with some of the new receivers in the NFC West or the AFC South West, AFC West. Oh. You got, Holmes, you got Hill. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. Ace just grabbed John Ross. So it's going to be an interesting division. I think Robinson helped shore up that Kansas City Chiefs defense, and they go with the cornerback here. We will move on here to number 10, rounding out the top 10. Boone, the New York Jets, where are they going?
All right, so upon looking at the Jets roster, the only quarterback on roster is Everett Sinclair. He's not very good. You don't want to hang your hat on him. You go look at the free agency, you see Matthew Stafford, who's like 35. You see Blake Bortles. There are no starting quarterbacks. We all know this. We got to go with the quarterback, Kirby Fortin, out of Michigan State. The young man has a strong arm. So that's exactly what we look for out of our quarterbacks, as we all know. We want that throw power. He's able to make all the throws that he needs to. He's 6 foot, I believe, 6'5", 6'6". He's NFL body, NFL size. He could take the hits in the league. Like I said, we mentioned earlier, we don't have a lot of blocking in this league. So you got to be able to take the hits. At 6'5", 234, he could take a hit, okay? He's going to be strong. He repped the third most out of the quarterbacks. He's ready for this game. With a B throw under pressure, he's built for a team with no offensive line. So go get Mr. Fortin. He's yours.
Yeah, I really like this pick. It's our third quarterback in the top 10 here. We saw that quarterback shuffle all season. Everybody's trading everybody everywhere. I think the Jets comes away with a good one here. NFL ready. I like it a lot. So we will move on to 11, Brent, and it is a team I know very well, the Green Bay Packers. Where do we see the Packers going here at 11?
So this might not be a popular pick, but after digging into the Packers roster, it seems like they like speed guys, number one. We got Barry Brooks coming in with 99 speed, and then Tevin Coleman, who's just a burner. But Tevin Coleman's starting to age. He's 30 this year. Running backs don't tend to play that long, and he's going to want to keep that offense moving on the ground. So I think he's going to go out of the box here and go for Teran Waters. He ran a 4.37 40-yard dash, first amongst all running backs. And then he also had the first 3-cone and 20-yard shuttle. This guy absolutely burns, and he's 21 years old as well, which I know you happen to like. Out of Florida, he's your guy.
So you say I'm going running back. Interesting pick. You can't teach speed. So, I mean, I'd be happy with this. You know, I'm not going to ever complain. I do still like Tevin Coleman, a little finesse. We'll see what ends up happening with the top 10. That will kind of obviously dictate who I go with, but not a bad pick for the Green Bay Packers. Tosh, number 12, Miami Dolphins and your buddy Pride here. Where's he going with? Or who's he going with?
Pride loves his linemen, especially big guys. So he's going with left guard Jordan Wilcox. 6'3", 334 pounds out of Nebraska. He might be 24 years old, but Pride doesn't like to deal with the young guys. He likes the guy with a little bit more maturity. 30-inch vertical jump, the 3-cone. The impact blocks B+, run power block, run block B, and that's all they're doing in Miami right now. Ball, so get another big guy in front of him, try to win that division.
And I like this pick too. I mean, you obviously want to run the ball. Huge season with Kenyon Drake last year, which many people would not have been able to do with Kenyon Drake. But I like this pick, Jordan Wilcox. And the age isn't a huge concern because, you know, we got maybe 4 or 5 seasons left, however many we get to. So regardless, we won't ever see him really regress. But I like this pick here, Wilcox to the Miami Dolphins at number 12. And we are on to Violent by Design and the Seattle Seahawks. And I think he is going to go with wide receiver Malik Hartz out of Illinois State. So it's it's a bad year for corners. It's a bad year for receivers. We saw him trade away John Ross. I think he needs, and Lockett's a free agent. He needs somebody for Sam Darnold to throw the football too. So I'm with Malik Hartz, 21 years old. He's got great route running, short route running, great catching traffic. He can play in the slot. 4.46 40-yard dash. So he's not John Ross fast, but I think he's fast enough to get open and really help out this new look Seattle Seahawks offense. So I think that's the guy we'll see at number 13 to the Seahawks. And Boone, we're moving on to the Buffalo Bills. Is their second draft pick after going with the left guard, Hanson Clare. Where do you see him going?
All right, so the Bills have 4 linemen on roster. They have a Dion Dawkins, who's 29.77 overall. After that, you can't really mention anybody over a 70 overall. So I think it's pretty much a no-brainer at this point. We got to go lineman. I'm picking Spencer Dorsett. He is the right tackle out of Notre Dame. He comes with a B- block finesse. You're talking impact blocking B-, run blocking B-. But the most important thing is those strong attributes like the bench press where he's putting up 33 reps. He's also first in the 40-yard dash, which means he's quick for you. So I think he's going to be the pick here to try and set the tone, try and get some blocking for this young quarterback and see what you could do for this team.
I like that pick. Buffalo really shoring up that offensive line to kind of, like you said, shore up everything. Josh Allen trying to get a run game going for sure. So we will slide on. Spencer Dorsett, 14 to the Bills. Brent, where do you see your division mate Tampa Bay Buccaneers going at 15?
So in order for Tampa Bay to start competing in this division, it's clear that they got to get by both the Falcons and the Saints because they've had trouble with both of us.
And the Panthers.
Yeah. I mean, he's had trouble with all three of us, but he's got to worry about the two first ones there first. So anyways, what I see him doing, I just got a DJ Moore and I've also got Diggs, and then Josh has Figurs and Ridley. You need cornerbacks to play in this division if you want any chance of stopping those guys. So I think he's actually going to go with a guy. He still has Slay and Hargreaves, who are both good enough to play for another year or two, but they're starting to age. So I think he's going to take their backup. This guy will start. He'll get a couple snaps out of the third position to start, but Dalton Beeson, he's coming out of Colorado. He got the first 40-yard dash, the first 3-cone, and the first 20-yard shuttle. So he's going to have the speed to cover all those fast guys. So I think he'll probably sit behind Hargreaves and Slay for at least the first half of the season, develop his skills because he's not that great with his ball skills or his coverage. But that athletic ability is going to give him the chance to cover those guys deeper into the cycle.
Yeah, I like this pick. He's a guy that's way down on a lot of teams' boards, but he's been picking up steam after he busted out that 4.38 combine. Decent, good size, lanky DB with that speed. So I think this would be a great pick for the Buccaneers to help stop all those beasts over there in the NFC South. So let's move on to Tosh here in the Indianapolis Colts at pick 16. Where do you see Hammer going here?
All right, I know Hammer's been looking for coverage linebacker, jumping in everybody's DMs, trying to get Red Luck to try to grab one of those guys. If you go down a little bit, he's not going to be the top. He's not top projected guy. Projected early 5th rounder, Matt Bowers, linebacker, middle linebacker out of San Diego State. Combine, he blew it away. 40-yard dash, 3-cone, 20-yard shuttle, top 2 in all those. But he's B coverage in zone, B- tackle, B+ pursuit. He's 21 years old. I think he's one of those guys that you find maybe get a quick dev, maybe a star dev. He's one of those sneaky guys that always every draft land in the 4 or 5 range that you can get. And I think at this pick in the middle of the first round, I think great value for the Colts.
Yeah, I like this pick. This is another guy, just like that last pick, Dalton Beeson, that's flying up draft boards after he showed, he's a combine warrior. It's what everybody's looking for, a pass coverage, middle linebacker. And Matt Bowers is that guy out of small school, San Diego State. I think this would shore up the Colts defense. And although he doesn't have Roquan Smith because he's a huge Bears fan, I think Bowers could be pretty similar to that Roquan Smith build. And I like it. So we'll move on here to number 17, the Dallas Cowboys. I got the Cowboys sticking with linebacker here. And they're going to go with Vlad Copeland out of Oregon. He is an absolute freak athlete, busted out a 4.63 40-yard dash. And it's 6 3-cone 6 shuttle, so he can move laterally across the field. B- zone coverage with a B- tackle. This guy can play inside, outside, wherever you want him to be. He can play sideline to sideline, and like I said, helping coverage. It's a division is up for grabs in the NFC East, and I think the Cowboys are a couple players away from really solidifying themselves as a favorite. We kind of saw the Redskins. I know Jack's going to hate that I say this, but the Redskins got a little older and they think they're kind of dying off. So I think this is the year the Cowboys can kind of make their move and go win this division. So we got Vlad Copeland from Oregon going here to the Cowboys at 17. Boom, we are on to the Minnesota Vikings, and this is their first pick first pick. Go ahead, 18.
All right. So for the Minnesota Vikings, at this point, you have a few needs around your entire team. However, looking at your division, you have with the Packers, who are always a top 5 passing offense with Barry Brooks. You have the Bears, who are coming up and they're a top 5 offense as well. So at this point, you have Ryan Pino right out of Penn State. He's just simply too good to pass up. In a division where you have a lot of passing offense, the best way to get and stop that offense is to make sure that you have that front 7 taken care of, specifically a DN who can get to the quarterback. He has a B+ pursuit, B+ block shedding, B tackle. The young man walked into the combine and he had one mission: don't mess up your stock. And he did just that. He put up 33 reps on the bench press. He gave you a decent vert jump, which means you can get up there and bat the balls down. But overall, he's going to be a monster for this team to be able to try and stop some of these high-powered offenses in his division.
Yeah, I like this pick as well. 6'5", 309. Can play inside out wherever you want him on the with 4.77 40-yard dash. I really like this pick. You could also see him sneak up. He could be a top 15 draft pick if he plays his cards right. Ryan Pino to the Minnesota Vikings at 18, and we are back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Brent, where do you see them going here at number 19?
I see them going defense again. I think they're going to take a right end simply just because he's too good of a player left to be left on the board at this point. He comes out of The Ohio State, Corey Vance. Didn't have a great combine, so people kind of forgot about him, but he just gets off blocks so easily and he hits hard. He's 23, so he's a little bit older, but he's 312 pounds and 6'7". So he's a big boy on top of being able to get off them and hitting hard. So I just think he has the potential to change a game. He can force a fumble for you. He gets in that backfield. He's disruptive. He's got it all.
This is much like the pick before as Ryan Pino. He's he's a freak athlete with some big size. Can play anywhere on the defensive line. I like this pick. Another guy you could see him sneak up there in the top 15. Who knows? Depending on need, obviously. But we'll move on here to number 20 with the Los Angeles Chargers. Tosh, where do you see Van going here?
Well, Van just traded away the stud of his defense and at safety. Now, to somebody that doesn't need it. And so he's going to go with his combine war, the strong safety, Leneric Bell out of Yale. The guy just literally blew everything away and Van loves those combine guys. So he was third in the 40-yard dash at 4.54, but you're not going to find a better vert, broad jump, 3-cone, 20-yard shuttle, and bench press, and he's solid in his skills. I think he's exactly what he needs to come back and fill that Derwin James void. So with another pick coming up, with 2 picks in the first, I think he's going to go with Bell.
I think that'd be the first Yale player ever taken first round of any sporting league. I promise you that.
I think you were right. That's some crazy athletes for a dude, or crazy combine stats from a dude from Yale. But that's a great pick there. Van's been looking through his corners and all his defensive backs all day, trying to who he can shift to safety. And I think Leneric Bell will be that guy that it's kind of, if he's there when Van comes up, it's a can't miss there with that combine, like you said. So we will go ahead and move on to the Houston Texans and Coach Boone himself. Boone, we know you completely blew your pick last season, taking like an 84 speed corner. And now you're playing him at safety. So we're going to actually have you take DeAndre Southward out of Wisconsin. 4.5 40. He was the fastest free safety in the draft. He is he's 24 years old, but we won't see him regress the rest of this cycle. B+ hit power, so he can come up and help in the run game. So he might be able to play that strong safety role for you too. 22 bench press reps, decent vert. I think this is the guy that can really help out that new look, improved Houston Texans defense. What do you think about that?
Well, I thank you for your vote of confidence on my drafting last year. I thought Hollowell turned out well. He put up 3 picks for me. But I think you're pretty spot on. We need more help in the defensive backs because at the end of the day, I suck at defense. So I need the best players on defense to cover up for my deficiencies on that side of the football. So I think that's pretty spot on, honestly.
Well, we'll stick with that AFC South and let you kind of talk about your division rival, Jacksonville Jaguars, here at number 22. Where do you think Jacksonville goes?
So I know him pretty well. Played him for many years at this point. He's big on defense. What keeps him in games and what keeps him alive is his defense. At this point, he seems pretty weak on the outside linebacker spot, as well as he has an aging Jalen Ramsey, who knows how long he's going to be this good. However, for the time being, he'll be serviceable. So we need to go outside linebacker. So I think I'm gonna go with Mr. Reed Davenport. The young man is a stud outside linebacker. His only downside would probably be his speed. He's not the fastest guy out there, but overall, he's an outstanding linebacker who can just simply make plays and be an anchor on that defense that's just been known to make plays and make tackles. He was number 1 in bench press, block shedding B-, pursuit B-, tackle. He's overall a very talented linebacker. Like I said, his only knock is he's not the fastest guy out there, but his instincts help make up for that.
Yeah, I like this pick. An aging Telvin Smith, Myles Jack getting up there in age, but I think he, adds to that defense. His offense is not a problem, that's for sure. So I think he will go defense. I like this pick. Reed Davenport to Jacksonville. And Brent, when we move on to the Seattle Seahawks with their second pick in the first round, where does VBD go with this pick?
So here's where I think he finally gets a quarterback. All my sources are telling me the Darnold move was a smokescreen. They didn't jump in front of them in the draft, and he's just there to be a backup and kind of compete with the new guy in order to push him to be a better quarterback and maybe even teach him a couple things he's learned along the way. So I think the Seattle Seahawks are going to go ahead and grab the number one guy on the board early on in the season, Chance Page. He's got B-plus throw power, so, I mean, he could use a little improvement in that sense, but John Ross is gone, so he doesn't necessarily have the need to push the ball as deep anymore. And then if you go ahead and look at his short and medium accuracy, they're incredible. He doesn't miss passes. Yet to be seen what his deep accuracy will be for us, but from what I've seen so far, he looks like a great player. He's going to be out of the box, probably the best quarterback in the draft.
Yeah, I like this pick. He's been ranked up there by a lot of our experts here as the number one quarterback in the draft. We saw 3 quarterbacks go before him, so if he does slip to here, I think he comes in with a little chip on his shoulder, and I think he could really compete with Darnold for that starting spot. So I like this pick. We'll see if VBD gets a quarterback. We don't know. Darnold's kind of a question mark, so we'll see. Tosh, we'll move on to the Minnesota Vikings here with their second pick. Where are we seeing the Vikings go at 24?
Well, they've been looking at him. They like him. They didn't maybe not agree with the combine because it was a 4.66 40-yard dash, but it's cornerback Craig Akins, the Heisman winner out of Tennessee. He's a man corner with a C plus press and a C plus man coverage. He's got good agility and acceleration. He's only 21 years old. They've made a lot of moves in Minnesota. They've got a lot of pieces coming in and moving parts. And I think a young piece like this on the defense could lock down a corner spot. Probably start off, he's a slot corner. Probably keep him in that slot. You don't want him on chasing down 97 speed receivers all season. But to start him out in the slot and see if he can get a couple speed points throughout some upgrades, I think Craig Akins where they're going to.
I actually like this pick from Minnesota. He's pretty polished, 21-year-old coming out. He has Lattimore, he's got Trey Wayne, so he's got his speed guys that can kind of take away those big fellas, those number one wide receivers. So I think this is a very smart pick, and I think he'd be happy with this, even though that 4.66 40 is not ideal for a corner. But let's go ahead and move on here to number 25. It is the Cincinnati Bengals. So after the Bengals take their quarterback of the future, Max Ecker, they're going to look to get him some weapons. And I think they're going to start with Riley Leak, the absolute monster tight end from Oklahoma. Oklahoma's kind of turned into a little tight end U over there. This dude is 6'8", 266 pounds, and a 4.66 40. He's up there with the last cornerback we just talked about. He's number one in all sorts of stuff here for tight ends, including the 3-cone and the shuttle. I really like this pick, Riley Leak. This guy is a combine warrior. He's a massive dude. This guy could easily, if a team wants him, slide way up in the first round. I like this pick in the middle of the field for the Cincinnati Bengals. We'll see what happens, but I think Riley Leak has a big rookie season. We'll move on here to number 26. Coach Boone, where is your buddy Doss going in this draft?
Well, after looking at his roster, right, they have a tight end there. Best tight end on the board is I think 69 overall. So, I'm starting to think maybe David Carstens out of Stanford, decent tight end. But you know what? I know my guy Doss. I know his vision for this team. He's a speed guy, right? So we got to go with the stud kicker, Riley Paulson out of Central Michigan. He's the number one 40-yard dash amongst all kickers. He's a combine warrior. He's placed in the top 3 in 4 of the 5 categories. The man is a stud, okay? He's got A kick power, B plus kick accuracy, okay? And I just want a little reference just to back up my claim. The Raiders are the only team in NFL history to draft a kicker first overall, so why not again? This is where you get your kicker of the future, right here, right now. Mr. Riley Paulson, 22-year-old Central Michigan. I'm calling it.
Well, he does have good size at 6'3", 196. That's a pretty big kicker. I'm sure Doss is going to have a couple words for you, so we'll let that go down in chat. But I like to pick Riley Paulson out of Central Michigan, fire up chips. And we'll move on here to number 27. Brent, where do we see the Chargers going at number 27?
Well, I think that they're going to go just based off BPA. Late in the draft, you kind of just have to take what falls to you. And I'm really surprised this guy's still on the board. I think they'll grab defensive tackle Frederick Doyle out of Pittsburgh. He's 21 years old. He's got the second most bench reps, third best 40 time, first in the D cone or 3 cone and the 20-yard shuttle. So he's going to get off that line incredibly fast. He's incredibly strong as well. And he's got pretty good moves as well as great pursuit with that speed. So I just don't see this guy sitting around because this is a defensive tackle that can get to the quarterback probably 15 to 20 times a season if you play well with him.
Yeah, this is a bit. I mean, he's a little bowling ball, 6'1", 300 pounds, 21 years old. This guy could be a stud. If he falls to 27, I think Van's going to be happy. I think kick himself if he takes the kicker over him. But let's go ahead and move on here. Number 28, the Chicago Bears, my division rival. I'll go ahead and take this one. And I think since everyone on his defensive line retired, so we got 2 defensive linemen on the roster, Tosh?
Yeah.
I think we're going to go.
Well, no, we just picked up third from IREC, but
okay.
That guy, he's got anger management problems. We don't know if he's going to make the team.
Oh, boy. So we're going to go with, what is it? Damico Jefferson, power rusher out of NC State. This guy's a big fella, 6'5", 295, 21 years old, B power moves. He can kind of play anywhere on the defensive for you, B- hit power. So if he does get to Aaron Rodgers, he might be the one that actually hurts him. I think I just jinxed myself. But I like this pick for you. You need to revamp that defensive line, and I think Jefferson's the guy that does it for you. So let's go ahead and move on to another NFC North team. It's the Detroit Lions, their second pick. Tosh, where do we see our friend Sparty going with the 29th pick?
Well, Sparty got his quarterback last season. He's all about the ball control, short passes, run game. So we're going to give him the top-rated running back, Dominic Garrett, the power back out of Florida. He's a 4.63 40, but they say he might run faster at his pro day. His agility and acceleration, 33 reps on the bench. He's got A- carrying, A- stiff arm, B+ trucking. He's 6'3", 237, 21 years old. He's that guy. I think he's going to fill in for the old Alex Collins.
Yep.
He'll be able to get that 2-3 yards, maybe with the falling forward, 5-6 yards. The short passes. And I think if they do, I mean, it's a risk. A lot of people don't like the power backs, but I think he's one of those guys who's going to have enough acceleration and agility to be effective for the Lions.
I like this pick. He's got Deontay Hubbard there. He's 1,000-yard season. So this could be a good change of pace guy. Your power and your thunder and lightning, kind of like the Bears do with Tariq Cohen and Jordan Howard. I think it is worth noting that Florida put out the fastest running back in the draft, and then the best power back. So this was Dominic Garrett and Teron Waters were in the same backfield in college, and now they're both getting drafted in the first round of the XFL draft. What is in the water in Florida? These are some big dudes. Let's go ahead and what'd you say? Fennell's garbage. All right, moving on here. We've got Boone, number 30, your buddy, man. You're getting all the AFC South guys. The Tennessee Titans. Where do we have the Titans going here?
I'm starting to think you guys set me up with this kind of stuff, but it's okay. I'm able to handle it. I'll be professional about it. So these Titans, right? Coach Brian, decent coach, I guess. They have an offense that's based around this running back of theirs, and I get it. They have Le'Veon, they have Christian McCaffrey, and they have this Fisher Jefferson guy. But if you look at their stats, their running backs combined for over 60 catches last season. That's more than any of their receivers had, any number one receiver on their team. So I think it's obvious that they have a focus on running back. So why not go with the next best one on the board? Mr. Latavian Phillip out of Wisconsin, 21 years old, 4.49 speed. He can't get enough of his running back, so hell, get him another one. Put 4 on the field. You can't throw the receivers, so this is the best you can do. You got a B+ juke move, a B+ carry, and a B spin move, and we all know he loves that spin move. So he comes out of college ready to go for you. I'm telling you, it's tailor-made. Latavian Phillip, the man for the job. Tennessee Titans, go get your guy.
Oh, boy. So the Titans off the board with their 4th running back. Oh, and he says in our Discord chat that guy is actually on his board. So Boone might hit this one spot on. But
I think I'm playing about this. I know this. I know these things. Come on now.
I like this pick here for the Titans. Like you said, shifting to wide receiver, whatever he wants to do. We'll go ahead and move on here, Brent. Who do your buddy Josh here take in Atlanta with the 31st pick?
Well, here's the thing. He's just moved his left end, Tack McKinley. So everyone out of the box is thinking left end, Duncan Strife, because he's European. He'll take the Irish guy. He would love that. But here's the thing. Josh is an idiot. He's not going to take it. Josh is going to go straight for the fullback position, and he's going to take Corwin Gokong, an absolute monster. Best bench press, 31 reps. He got that vert jump, 31.2, third on the board. Broad jump was thick, 10-1, first out of the fullbacks, and he ran a 5 flat.
All right.
I mean, it is good because we won't be seeing any half fullback dives anymore. So that is good.
He's a star if I've ever seen one. 6'3", 255. Good God, that's a monster. Okay.
Right? With that 5 flat?
Blazing speed. He's 6. He's almost top 5 in fullback.
And I do know
he's only 7 in the draft, but it's fine.
I do know for a fact when I was trading my fullback, who was about that same size, I traded him to Tennessee, and Josh was absolutely livid that I did not trade him, or at least wait, because he's on the Euro lag. You got to wait 14 hours to be able to hear his offer. So he was pissed that I did not wait for his offer. So I do not doubt that this guy is on his board. He's about the same build, huge, chunky guy. He might get named Big Chunky down there in the Big A.
Oh, boy.
Lorenzo Neal, Mike Allstott, all Hall of Famers. I'm just saying. So these stats.
Regan, now that you're here, let's let you go ahead and do your last pick here, man, if you want to.
Sure.
Or
I would be, yeah, no problem. I would be absolutely thrilled if this guy fell to me, but I go Raymond Fernandez out of Princeton. This guy is brilliant. And the fact that he hadn't been picked, man, if he got all the way to the bottom of the first round, I might have to, might have to check my eyes, because this guy, he ran a blazing speed 40 at the combine. He ran a 4.34. He was the best wide receiver out there. His acceleration isn't great, and that might be kind of the issue. I don't know what his agility looks like, his acceleration, so that's probably why he fell so far. But the fact that he has that straight line speed, I think in and of itself makes him a great player. And the fact that he's a slot, that's a lot of what I do. I'd run a lot of West Coast power run style. So he would fit in very well for Lamar and present a really, really good slot receiver, which actually we did lose. We lost. Oh man, Jamison Crowder, the guy, the little 5'9" slot beast. We lost him this year to free agency. So Fernandez would fill a huge hole for us, and that would be an awesome pick if he was somehow to get down to 32.
Yeah, I like this pick. Good speed. He's a pretty polished route runner and can go over the middle catching traffic. It'd be great for Lamar, like you said, and it kind of fits your build for wide receiver. So I like this pick for you. All right, well, that's 32 picks, gentlemen. That wraps up our draft. Great job. Thank you for tuning in with me, guys, and all the experts on the panel. Is there anybody in these 32 guys that excites you the most, that you think could be, potential rookie of the year, potential most outstanding player candidate? Boone, let's start with you. Kind of sprung this on you.
You sure did. It's cool though. I'm ready.
Okay.
So if I had to pick my guy who's probably going to be a surprise, guy, I mean, it has to be no one other than Riley Paulson. I mean, he's a stud kicker. Like, he's going to lead the league in scoring. His toss, he kind of struggles to get touchdowns. You've got the number 1 40-yard dash. So, hey, look for those little fake field goal runs. He's a star. He's waiting to be had. I'm telling you right now. This is the man. He's got the long hair like Troy Polamalu and everything. Perfect. He fits the Raiders offense.
All right, Regan, let's go with you, man. Is there anybody that sticks out being the guy that kind of steps up and is the MVP of this draft class?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, honestly, I'm going to have to go Max Ecker. I think that picking him 1 overall was a huge step, because he's kind of an underrated guy, because he does have that second round projection by a lot of experts, but I think he's the number 1 pick, hands down. I think he's kind of that surprise pick, kind of like Baker Mayfield was. He ran about a 4.8, so he does have a decent amount of mobility for a guy with A- throw power. Good accuracy. He's got a B plus and a B in short and medium accuracy, respectively. So, and like you mentioned before, he's a highly intelligent guy. I've had the chance to speak to him. He's a great kind of dude that you want to bring into a locker room, and I know that that's the kind of guy that Robert Morlock loves there in Cincinnati. So I think that way he would really buy into the intelligent play calling, how he's getting the ball out to offensive linemen and making a lot with quite a bit of a little. So I think that getting a guy like Ecker in there would just be a huge step forward in getting Robert the kind of team that he wants to have there.
Speaking of Robert, he just dropped a 3-part interview on the Bengals Twitter if anyone wants to go check that out. And then Tosh, who's your guy that kind of sticks out to you in this draft?
Guy that sticks out, he's going to go early. At least I hope so. Halfback Taron Waters. Fastest dude, best acceleration, best agility at running back. He's got to go top 10 because he can't land in Green Bay. So everybody, I'd be trading up inside the top 10 to get this guy. He's an elusive back. You can put him out at wide receiver like Coach Brian and throw him streaks. He's going to be the fastest guy on your team. He's got a great juke move. You can run tosses and stretches like Coach Brian. I mean, Coach Brian, straight up. All right? Let's go. Do not let him go to Bay.
The neck brace is a side effect of running a lot of tosses and stretches. I'd rather him in Green Bay than in
fucking Tennessee. Please, just don't let him go to Tennessee. God, I don't need that in my life.
I was
Keep him out of Green Bay. That's my PSA.
For real.
Taron Waters, top 10.
Tosh, you should be his agent, honestly, just to keep him out of Green Bay. That was the best sales pitch I've heard in a long time. My goodness.
I'm jumping in people's DMs right now.
Hey, you're taking him, right? You're taking Taron, right? He's not going to get to Nick, right?
He's not going to go. Yep.
If he is there at 11 is on the block if anyone wants to come and get him. That's just letting everyone know.
Do it.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. I appreciate you joining me. That was a heck of a draft, and I'm looking forward to it. Remember, 8:30 start time tomorrow night. We got our season 21 draft, and then we kick off the preseason and kind of get it rolling. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you soon.